Randy Waldrum, coach of Trinidad and Tobago women's national team. Coach Waldrum, what did you think of the draw?
Actually, I was very happy with the draw. I think it's easy to sit back and speculate on what you think teams are going to do, and I think that's what we're all doing today. But I'm really, really pleased with it. To open up the whole event with the U.S. in Kansas City. There's a lot of reasons I'm excited about that one for sure. But I think also the Group B is on paper it looks like a much more difficult group. Although we've got a ton of respect. We saw Haiti in the Caribbean. I know Sheck's done a great job with that program. I don't know a lot about Guatemala yet. I'll have to do a little bit more research on Guatemala, but overall I'm really pleased.
So you rate your chances of advancing to a World Cup?
I do. I like our team. I would have done that regardless of the group we'd have been in. I think we haven't had a lot of time with the team. But based on what I saw from a short period of time that I've had them together in the Caribbean, I felt like it's a good core of players. So I think regardless of the group, I would have felt we'd had a good opportunity to get into that Final Four and then fight for one of those spots. So I feel good about our chances, and that's I even feel better about it after seeing the groups.
Obviously, Trinidad's been to a World Cup on the men's side, smallest nation ever to compete in a FIFA World Cup final. Have you ascertained what it would mean to the nation for the women's team to qualify for a World Cup?
Well, I think those are things you think about. I look at it more, obviously, for the nation. I was around in 2008 and saw all the results of what the men did in 2006. And for us to do that on the women's side would be phenomenal, not only for the country and the nation, as a footballing nation, but I think more importantly for the growth of the women's game there in Trinidad. I think it could be monumental in terms of helping grow the women's game there in Trinidad. There's so much work to be done in that country, and we're so far behind, for example, what I'm used to seeing in the U.S. With our women's teams here and our youth programs here, that I think that could be a big turning point for TNT.
Having said that, of course, Sonia Bien-Amin, Concacaf Executive Committee member, mentions the Under-15 tournament, the initiatives in grassroots development for girls. What do you see as the next step for development in the Caribbean for girls and young women?
Well, I think the biggest step right now, to be honest with you, is just funding. That's the issue, is having the funding not only within the federation, but having the corporations and the businesses there in Trinidad getting behind youth sports in general, and in particular the women's side of football. And I think that's first and foremost. We just don't have the resources right now in place. That I keep using the U.S. as an example. Being from the U.S. and I know what we have here, we're not even close to having those resources. So I think the biggest factor is funding. I think there's enough people working hard to try to get the grassroots and to make the soccer side of things go, but it all comes down to funding.
Thanks, Coach. Obviously, a David versus Goliath matchup in that opener in Kansas City.
It is, but I think any competitor loves that kind of a challenge, and we'll do our best to be prepared. We have certainly all kinds of respect for the U.S. and what they've done, and they've set the bar for Concacaf and for the rest of the world in women's football for a number of years. So we know we got a big challenge, but we're really looking forward to it.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.